All I want is for things to go back to the way they used to be. Back when villagers were afraid of me, and I could take a mud bath in peace. When I could do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it.
In this video, let's talk about the midlife crisis that Shrek goes through in the fourth movie. What makes it so interesting is that throughout the films, he slowly gets everything he always wanted, yet somehow he still ends up unhappy. Back in the first movie, Shrek acted like he loved being alone. He enjoyed scaring people away, being feared, and having his swamp all to himself.
This is the part where you run away. And stay it!
On the surface, it looked like that lifestyle was perfect for him. But deep down, that was never really true. The reason he pushed people away so much was because he was used to everyone judging him before they even got to know him.
They judge me before they even know me. That's why I'm better off alone.
People saw him as a monster automatically, so Shrek basically accepted that role and embraced it. As the movies go on, his life completely changes. He gains real friends, falls in love with Fiona, starts a family, and finally feels accepted by the people around him. He ends up with the exact life he was missing in the beginning of the franchise. He's no longer isolated or hated by everyone, and for the first time he has people who genuinely care about him. That should have been the perfect ending for him. The problem is that by the fourth film, that dream life starts to feel repetitive. Every day feels the same, and Shrek begins missing the excitement and freedom he used to have before all the responsibilities. What's ironic is that he also misses being feared by people. In the first film, he hated how everyone was terrified of him and judged him unfairly, but now people love him, celebrate him, and treat him like a celebrity. Instead of appreciating it fully, part of him misses the old days when he felt more intimidating and different.
Oh, Mr. Shrek, would you sign our pitchforks?
And our torches!
Oh man, you used to be so fierce.
Yeah, when you were a real ogre.
A real ogre?
That's where his midlife crisis really comes in. Shrek reaches a point where the life he worked so hard to build no longer feels exciting to him anymore. He starts romanticizing his past, even though that old life also made him miserable because he was completely alone. The movie basically shows Shrek being stuck between two versions of himself. One side remembers how painful isolation was, while the other side misses the freedom and simplicity he used to have before his life became so routine. Shrek becomes so desperate to be like his old self again that he starts ignoring everything good that he already has. Even during his birthday celebration, where all his friends, his family, and everyone who truly loves him are around him, he still feels empty inside. There's this feeling that something is missing from his life, even though from the outside it looks like he already has everything he could ever want. That frustration is what leads to the selfish decision that kicks off the entire movie. Shrek becomes so blinded by nostalgia that he stops appreciating the life he built for himself. That's why he ends up signing the contract with Rumpelstiltskin, who had always been bitter toward him for ruining his chance to take over the kingdom after Fiona was rescued. Shrek thinks the deal is simple. He believes he'll get one day to relive his old life again, where he's feared by everyone and free from all his responsibilities, and then everything will return back to normal afterward. But the contract is far worse than he realizes. Instead of just giving him a temporary escape, the deal erases the day he was born, creating an entirely different reality where he never existed at all. Because Shrek was never born, Fiona was never rescued from the tower. Without Shrek interfering, Fiona's parents eventually gave the kingdom to Rumpelstiltskin, allowing him to take complete control. So the moment Shrek signs the contract, he basically destroys his own world and creates a parallel universe where everything he loved is gone. What makes this so impactful is seeing how much Shrek loses all at once. His friends no longer know him, his children don't exist in this reality, and Fiona herself has become a completely different person. Since nobody ever rescued her, she eventually escaped the tower on her own and turned into a hardened warrior leading a resistance of ogres against Rumpelstiltskin. She's stronger and more independent in this timeline, but she also doesn't know who Shrek is, which makes things even more painful for him because the person he loves most now sees him as a stranger.
Maybe you missed orientation, but for future reference, personal space is very important to me.
You don't know who I am, do you?
No.
The only way for Shrek to fix everything is through true love's kiss before time runs out. For probably the first time in the franchise, Shrek fully understands how valuable his old life actually was. He spent so much time complaining about his family and his routine that he never realized those things were exactly what gave his life meaning. And in one of the rarest emotional moments for the character, we actually see Shrek break down crying and genuinely regret the choice he made after realizing he threw away the people who loved him most. He basically has to start his entire life over again. In the original timeline, he and Fiona slowly fell in love after going through so much together, but in this new reality he has to somehow make her fall in love with him all over again. The difference is that this version of Fiona is nothing like the one he rescued in the first movie. She's tougher, more distant, and far less open emotionally because of everything she went through alone.
Did you grow up locked away in a dragon's keep? Did you live all alone in a miserable tower? Did you cry yourself to sleep every night, waiting for a true love that never came?
But I'm your true love.
Then where were you when I needed you?
That makes Shrek's situation much harder because he can't simply rely on the connection they once had. To Fiona, he's just a stranger claiming they belong together. What's interesting is that even in this alternate reality, Shrek still naturally bonds with the people who became important in his life before. Characters like Donkey and Puss don't remember him at all, yet their chemistry and friendship still slowly come back. It shows that these relationships were always meant to happen in some way. Even in a completely different world, those connections still exist deep down. After struggling through all of this and realizing the true value of his life, Shrek finally manages to fix everything. Right before sunrise, he shares true love's kiss with Fiona, and the entire alternate reality created by Rumpelstiltskin begins to collapse. The world he accidentally created shatters apart, and everything returns back to normal. Shrek returns to the exact moment of his birthday party where earlier he had angrily smashed the cake and complained about his life, but this time his perspective is completely different. Instead of feeling trapped or frustrated, he's genuinely happy to be there with his family and friends again. He finally understands how much those moments actually mattered to him. That's why his character development in the movie works so well. Shrek spent the entire film chasing the idea of his old life because he thought being a real ogre again would make him happy, but the alternate reality proves the opposite. The life he missed so much only existed because he forgot how painful it actually was. Once everything he loved was stripped away from him, he realized that the family, friendships and love he built over the course of the movies were far more valuable than the lonely life he used to romanticize.